Welcome to Motorcultpodcast episode 66. I'm Erik Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Ziniski. Hello, sir.
Hey, that's me. Hello there.
Hello. Practicing the radio voice this week, I see.
I'm sorry.
And Jana's back.
Hi.
Welcome back.
I did not disappear.
No, I mean, I know you're busy with an architect. It was a field trip or something last time.
I brought my college students to MIA for the
I love that place.
Egyptian Sunken Cities exhibit, and it was I'm really glad that I normally bring Ryan, because I was really good at corralling them through all the fun stuff to get to, because like the tickets are timed.
Oh.
So like your entry time is at 11 or 11:15.
Is that in that special exhibition hall all the way at the end?
Yeah, and
Okay.
so like
I've never been there.
The
Like-
MIA?
No, I've been to the MIA. I've just never been to the exhibition hall. I never get past the Asian exhibit.
Yeah, so like I was really good at like getting them through, and we were a couple minutes late, but they let us in anyway, because
Nice.
like they just show a film, and that's why they want it
Right.
timed.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was like really proud of myself for like corralling these kids. I was like, this is my experience as a Montessori teacher and bringing Ryan to museums.
I was going to say mainly Ryan.
I was like, yes, I'm prepared for this.
So I guess apparently there's a Tatra somewhere.
There
in
is.
MIA.
It's in the modern.
I don't know where it is.
I can't believe.
You have to understand.
It's in the
I'm
modern art.
I'm really into Asian artwork, and the MIA. If you're not from Minnesota, the MIA is the Minneapolis Institute of Arts.
Which is
It's our MoMA.
Yeah, it's got one of the largest.
I'd say the Weissman's closer.
It's
modern art.
It's got one of the largest Asian artwork collections in the Western Hemisphere, because the Dayton family, that one of the patrons of the Dayton family, had a massive Asian artwork collection. He had collected that for like 60 years.
Seems like that family has really good taste, because they own a
Oh, yeah.
bunch of awesome cars too.
Yeah. Do they have their collection like on display anywhere?
I don't
or?
think so.
Yeah.
My boss knows them fairly well, so I've heard some stories from that. But yeah,
What do they have?
I mean, they've got like things like the Diablo SV and things like that. So I mean, it's a lot of like very 90s stuff. I don't think they've got anything like an XJ220, but I don't think it holds a candle to the Maury's collection. But
The Maury's collection is phenomenal.
that one is intense. But that's a lot of older stuff.
Yeah, that is true. Well,
Predominantly.
that's Maury from Maury's. Maury's is a dealership chain here in Minnesota, and the original patron was this guy named Maury something or other. I can't remember his last name. I should know that because I used to work for them. But he collected all these cars new when he started like Maury's, and it like from like the early 50s through like the late 2000s. He got all these cars in his collection, and he didn't just get like whatever. He doesn't have like like a 92 Oldsmobile Cutlass Calais or anything.
Ugh.
He's got like he'll have something like it'll be a 92 Oldsmobile, it'll be like a crazy rare one that's like actually somewhat desirable. I mean, it's desirable as a 92. No, so I was going to get to that.
Okay.
That's the Maury's Heritage Collection.
Right.
Carl Schmidt, the CEO, that's kind of his baby, and from what I understand, I really wish I had Alex Bellis in a Pokeball. He could describe this better.
Summon him.
Yeah, but basically it's a car collection that they rent out, and then from what I know, Carl basically just drives them whenever he feels like.
I'm
So
sure. Yeah.
It's really
Some
monetized.
sort of write-off.
It sounds like a really, really lucrative version of monetizing a hobby.
Yep.
And for like really the best purposes ever. But they'll rent out their classic cars. And
Yeah, I know several people that have rented from the Heritage Collection.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's like they don't have like garbage. Like
Right.
It's not like you're gonna be like, cool, I'm gonna get a classic car rental. What's
Right.
gonna be? It's gonna be a 1982 Chevy a Chevy
Love.
Camaro
Oh,
with
yeah.
a
Yes,
Iron
the
Duke
Chevy Love.
and be a Bronetta. It'd be just a base model.
Like a
nobody
Fiero
wants it.
2M4 Auto.
Yeah, and like
Ugh.
that's like they're cool. No, it's not like
No,
that.
they got like Continental convertibles. and
yeah, the Continental convertibles,
super clean old Toyota SUV thing, Land Cruiser.
the Land Cruiser. Then they have that really awesome first gen Bronco. Mm-hmm. So they actually have like really
They
some
have
cool
like
stuff.
close to the O.J. Simpson car, and then they have a
No, it's the first
finisher
gen
car.
Yes, an actual finisher car. Yes.
It's just the Maury's version of that. Yeah. It's not a starter car; it's a finisher car. But yeah, no, I think the Dayton family's got like a couple of 1960s Ferrari GTO race cars and things like that. So
is instantly cooler than the Morris collection. Those two cars alone.
So there's that. But anyway, I guess moving straight into topics. Are you doing a beer? No.
I'm doing a coffee. I'm
Okay,
gonna probably do
coffee.
a beer later.
For
This
sure.
is a vanilla white mocha from Caribou.
Oh man,
Ditto.
I usually do the white peppermint mocha.
Ooh, those are
That's
good
good.
too.
Yeah.
But some days I don't want a cold coffee, and I
Yeah.
usually do this iced. So whatever you're drinking,
Yeah, vanilla white mocha.
I'm really glad I can't smell it over my really nasty feet because I would definitely want one of those right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm
My-
drinking a Cool Light because that's the
Nice.
only beer in the fridge before you guys showed up.
Yeah, my favorite like fall drink from them right now is a maple budino and the
A what?
A maple budino. Budino is like an Italian or French pudding, so I don't know why it's called
Sounds
that.
luxurious.
Yeah, but it's like basically maple coffee, and
That sounds amazing.
love it. And I get it every Tuesday night at the Caribou by my house, and he knows my order super well, and he knows that I'm going to class, so he's always like trying to like get me mentally prepared to not lose my shit. It's great.
Does it work?
It does.
Excellent.
Because there was one day where he wasn't there, and like they closed early because they didn't have. It was just like a small one in a grocery store,
Sure.
and I didn't get my coffee, and I had like a mental breakdown. I was like, no.
So what you're telling me is you're chemically dependent on coffee.
on Tuesday nights.
Oh, okay. Your body is very selective.
Yes.
Okay.
She has a line day on Tuesday.
I gotcha.
I also forgot to mention the coolest car at the Morris Heritage Collection. Their rotary engine pickup. The
Oh, they
Repo.
do have a blue Repo, and it is swell.
Yeah, that's really really cool.
If I could have one thing from their collection, it probably would be that.
I think everybody concurs with that. Like it's
Apparently, it's not even like that great of condition. Like when I
It's-
talk to them, they're
it's-
like, "It's a decent one, but it has its issues." I'm like, "Okay,
it's
well,
that,
yeah.
it's a driver.
Still like
that's
a
for sure.
carbureted early rotary pickup. It's probably not going to be great."
Well, what's also cool is they have it as a level 1, which is like their cheapest like level for like cars.
I seriously want to borrow it to like go to IKEA.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it'd be perfect. So all right, I'm just looking through their
Their
collection.
inventory? Yeah.
I think I know what I'm gonna get my dad for his birthday.
The
A rental of one of these.
yeah.
A
So
lot of people I know have used them for like wedding getaway vehicles and things like
Yeah,
that. They're
that's
pretty
a
good
good
for
idea.
that. Hmm
Brian.
No,
okay.
we're-
we're gonna buy a Citroen.
yeah.
I haven't
Well,
done-
not
If the
buy.
Heritage Collection
have
bought a
one, but-
2CV or something, I would have to rent
Oh.
it.
I would rent it
Yeah.
every day. I'd
What
spend an
was-
inordinate amount of money to rent
I
it.
wonder if I still know the people that
So here,
run that.
let me. Let's kind of go down some of their highlights. So they got
Okay.
a Beetle convertible. Okay.
Inadvertent plug for MHCC.
Yeah. The Repo. They got their Bronco. A
Is that a blue
560.
Mustang?
560 SL.
What's their website? I'll bring it up on
It's
the...
MorrisHeritage.com. 2002, they got a red 69-ish Mustang. They got a white first gen Camaro, a 64 Cadillac convertible, like the same one that Ricardo Tubbs drives in Miami Vice, but
Yep.
white, not blue.
Okay.
A C3 Corvette.
Gross.
No, it's before they sucked.
No, Ryan, they sucked all the way through their life.
Well, the first few years were like okay, but they were just like sullied by emissions. This one's a pre-emissions one
Oh,
for
right,
sure.
they have vehicles for sale and past vehicles as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I forgot about their 74 green 2002. Ah,
I know. That's aggravating.
there we go. Are these all Bellis photos?
Sure. I'm confident of that. Oh, they got a 930. That's
Yep.
cool.
Oh, they have a late model SL. Weird. Oh, wow.
see
DV9
that.
Volante. I didn't know
Huh.
they had that. And the F430, I knew about that. It's a paddle box. Ugh.
Yeah, gross. Why would you spend that much money to get a Maserati?
I don't know. It must have come in on trade at one of the dealerships
That's
for like
like- Oh, yeah.
15 grand or something.
I think like some of these, like the SL and Maserati must have been like just trade-ins. And,
Right.
Like Carl's like, I kind of want that. Let's put that in the
Let's throw it
collection.
in the
Yeah,
collection.
throw it in. It was like springtime and all of his other convertibles were broken.
Did they
He
get
goes,
rid of their Continental? I think they did.
No, the Continentals.
That's an old caddy.
Oh yeah,
I think they got rid of their Continental. Oh, no. Shoot. I really wanted to rent that.
Well, you could have.
Oh, wow. Look at their past stuff. Old Z.
Alex.
They did have a finisher car.
Yep.
01 Range Rover 4.6
They also
HSE.
had the
OJ Bronco.
the OJ Bronco, and they had the really
See,
cool
I was
first gen
right.
RX-7.
They had an OJ Bronco and a finisher car.
They've had two
Oh,
280ZXs.
Yeah.
A
Oh, both
thing-
their Land Cruisers are gone. They had a Miata Club. That would have been cool.
Yeah, would have been. And that
AP2.
the Datsun. Oh, dude, when did they have the
Sunbeam Alpine? Or
No,
Tiger?
that's a Tiger, dude.
Whatever. Yeah, that was right at the beginning.
No, that's different. Do you know the difference between a Tiger and the Alpine?
One of them had a V8.
Yeah, the Tiger did.
Shoot, where's the Continental, man?
Maybe they just
maybe
that
it's
was
for sale.
a figment of our imagination.
No, they definitely had a Continental. I'm
Vehicles.
loading vehicles for sale. I'm curious. Oh, what the hell?
Well, they don't have a Continental, but they have another Alpha.
I don't care about that.
Do you think Alex Bellis just gets him to buy Alfa Romeos so he can buy them once they are done with it?
I saw Molly and Alex's car in one of those lists.
Yeah, it was.
Did they sell it to MHCC?
Yeah, he bought it from them.
Oh,
Yeah.
he bought it from them.
I think they did. It was in the past vehicles. I think he did. I could be
Okay.
wrong.
Well, either way, I guess MHCC will give them a plug, even though they don't sponsor us in any way. That's a really great way to cheaply rent, basically a dream car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you know it's going to be taken care of instead of something like Turo, where you're kind of rolling the dice. And Turo is actually not that. It doesn't have that much good stuff around here.
Not around here, but I mean that's
Other
also
parts of the country, it's great.
yeah.
but-
It's entirely dependent on like who's putting their cars
Yeah.
up. So when we went to Atlanta
yeah.
for that funeral, I was looking at Turo and I was about like 2 seconds away from renting for the entire weekend a docked out '87 Monte Carlo with like
That would have
20.
been so amazing.
It was awesome. It was like orange, 28
Did
inch
it have a
wheels.
cereal or snack wrap on
No,
it?
it didn't. But it was just orange candy paint with 28-inch.
Ice cream paint job.
It had 28-inch chrome and color matched wheels, and like an ostrich skin or something interior. It was just ridiculous.
It just said encoding overloaded, and we're looking at nothing but cameras. Sorry, that was a tangent.
That's really weird. But yeah, so it's entirely dependent on where you're from, and unfortunately, I did not go with the '87 Monte Carlo because
You should have. I mean, the fuel bill would have been immense.
it wasn't even that. It was the fact that you couldn't take it out of the state
Oh,
for that
Yeah,
part.
we had to
For
go to
it was for that particular
Okay.
car. I think it was like that guy just like.
can you imagine if you got like A, how would you know if you got a flat in that? But B, if you got a flat in that and you're at like some hick tire shop in the middle of rural
on
Louisiana
on a Sunday?
and you need like a 265 20R28, like, you guys have one of these?
What tire size is that? It is a 315 1528. Our tire machine can't accommodate
I
that.
think you must be reading the tire wrong. Like, nope, that's the one.
That's the size. It's ridiculous.
We just put forklift tires on them now, so we don't have to replace them ever. Just solid rubber.
It probably makes no difference. Like I
And
don't even.
ride quality. There's no squish in those tires.
Yeah, like why do you even have a pneumatic tire if you have a dyke?
I
Like,
don't know.
that would just make sense
just do
to
a
me.
split wheel and literally just have the bolts sandwich a solid block of
They're
rubber in
usually
there.
multi-piece wheels too for like extra unsprung weights.
Speaking of multi-piece wheels, did you guys see the post on the
Yeah.
Murcielago
Yeah, what the
wheels?
hell?
Okay, so when we bought this thing, Jenna's little car, it came with the factory wheels and
Jenna
tires.
Jameson,
the porn star.
not Jana.
Correct.
Duggan.
Correct.
You
Different.
did not buy them from
Jenna,
me.
not
No.
Jana.
So anyway, it came with the original wheels, but they were split, and they were powder-coated gloss black. I'm like, this is dumb. So I brought them over to my powder coater. I'm not going to say the name of it until this is actually done. And I had a long email chain leading up to this, going over pricing, color, and logistics for timing.
Yeah.
Brought them out
As
there.
you do, you're really thorough.
Right. I always make sure I have a paper trail because this kind of stuff happens. I also brought out my set of 2002 13-inch factory wheels. They had been media blasted by the previous owner, just nothing special, 13-inch wheels. Make them all silver. And then the 2002 wheels needed the area around the bolts to be black
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
'cause to make it look like an Alpina wheel. Drop them off. About a week and a half later, I get an email from the office manager, somebody I'd never talked to before, saying that they're done, ready for pickup. I told him I'll see him on Tuesday. So I knock off work a little bit early on Tuesday, go home, get the FJ, drive 35 miles into Wisconsin. I get there, pull up at the wrong door. Great. All right. Move to the next door. Go inside. There's a pallet with 4 wheels and tires for a Lamborghini Murcielago assembled in gloss black.
No.
Wheels that I had paid for and told them to do in silver. They're like, oh, here's these. I'm like, they look great, but they're the wrong color. And the guy's like,
Yeah.
what? Apparently the people who actually do the powder coating and the office workers don't talk at all.
Oh.
So the O2 wheels were silver. That was good, but they didn't do the center paint thing, which is the main reason I brought them too.
What they did is it was
They thought the black center probably was the center of the 2-piece wheels. Here's what I think happened. The Murcielago wheels, when I got them, they had just come from the powder coater to get painted gloss black, and there was Sharpie on the barrel that said gloss black.
Oh.
So I think the people probably just thought that was markings from the office, and they ran them again in the color they already were.
You know, this seems
Oh
like
my
this
God.
seems like a Wisconsin issue, because
Is
if you were in Minnesota,
infuriating.
and if you were in Minnesota, somebody said, "Well, this is fresh powder coat and it's gloss black. Why are we doing single gloss black?"
exactly. Or like call maybe.
Yeah.
Like
or
verify this. This might be a little
Email
weird.
me. Yeah, like
Because
go
I
through
thought
the
they were-
15 emails.
Because they looked really great. Like, I didn't know that anything was wrong. I thought you were just taking a picture of the wheels because that's how they looked before. And I was
Right.
like, oh, those look really nice.
My goal is to try to return that thing to stock look.
Yeah.
So
That's fair. Yeah, it's Wisconsin.
and
It's
so
like a red state thing.
they
Like-
messed up all 8 wheels, so I had to go home. And yesterday I got in the mail a bill for all 8 wheels.
No.
And I haven't contacted him yet. I'm gonna do it on Monday, babe. Like,
No,
okay.
today's Saturday. It's the Sabbath. Shomer Shout. It's Tuesday.
No,
it's
I'm like,
rest,
so let me get
and
this
it's
straight.
Ha-
You
it's
guys
Hanukkah.
sent me a bill for some wheels you screwed up, and I still don't have back yet. And I've now driven into Wisconsin round trip twice in a vehicle that gets 16 miles to the gallon, and
Look-
I've had to leave work early.
Don't complain about the vehicle because that's entirely your fault. But anyway,
I can't fit them in the Fiat.
again,
No,
you could buy a Prius or something.
Honestly,
but
the round trip to and from to drop them off and to pick them up, fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
it's
It's
But
the
the extra-
additional round trip for their mess up.
yeah, no,
not cool with that.
That's not that's
That's
sucks.
what I'm getting at, not
Yeah.
anything else. So
No, it's
they're still
really
not
dumb.
fixed.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a tangent. But
no, that
yay.
it's not like it's not that like people that live in red states are inherently dumb.
I blame
It's just
Scott
that-
Walker.
I noticed that Alabama, rural Georgia, and Wisconsin have a lot of characteristics that are the same, like gross incompetence, things being closed when they should be open, and for no reason
Generic, but pretty good.
not being able to buy beer in certain areas.
Yeah,
And
not
time.
after 10 and gas stations or whatever the hell.
9.
9? Oh yeah, I've done that on road
It was
trips. Like, oh,
9:01.
pick up some spotted cow. Nope.
It was fucking 9:01. The guy in front of me, I knew it was 9. I'm like, all right, cool. And the guy in front of me just dicked around with the cashier for like 2 minutes.
Straight up trying to get her number.
Yeah. And then I get there, and she's like, oh, I can't have it. And I just take him, I just drop the big case on the ground and leave. I was pissed.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not my fault. Like, you dicked around with that guy.
See, in Minnesota, as long as you're in the line before that time, they usually can override it by a few minutes.
Yeah.
But no.
Well, I mean, it's like ordering drinks at a happy hour.
Yeah.
A couple minutes till. Like, there's always a way to key it in a few
Yeah.
minutes late because you took my order at
Yeah.
4:58 and you got to key it in at 5:02.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that's happened in Wisconsin. There are things that happen in others, like in California, that would never happen. You'd have somebody goes, all right, yeah, I got you. It's just like Wisconsin. I'll add Kentucky to that too. That's in our state that's done this sort of shit.
I only like their fried chicken.
But like those, within the city of Atlanta,
Yeah.
in Georgia,
Atlanta
like
proper.
everything works fine. But
Yeah.
like as soon as you get out of like the third ring of suburbs, it just everything stops working. Everybody's
Kind of
incompetent.
like Chicago.
Yeah.
Another red state. Well, actually, I think
Is
Chicago's blue.
Illinois?
I think Chicago's or Illinois is blue.
Chicago's
I
the
don't
only
actually
reason
know.
why Illinois is blue, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, nobody cares about the rest of Illinois.
Since we're still on tangents, these garage door openers, these commercial ones, you can't get the app control thing like you can for the residential ones
Yeah.
unless you just replace it. But like
Yeah.
these are fine.
Expensive.
So I found this little Chinese Wi-Fi trigger module that's just got relays on it. So that has Wi-Fi on it now. So I don't even have to get out of my car to put a vehicle inside
That's
now.
awesome.
Thank God for China.
I know. So I like working my way around that
This is
problem.
all car related, so.
This is.
I know,
yeah,
it's good stuff.
It's a good tangent.
I'll break us into the actual
Yeah, let's
topics
actually get
here.
to the topics now.
And speaking of that garage door, I am driving Satan on wheels this weekend.
Ooh.
I saw that. I was wondering why it was in here.
So
It's a
John,
Lexus, right?
Harry hand wash. Yeah, it's a 2006 RX 400H. So John's detailing it for me this weekend.
Tell me more.
He used to be driven by our HR guy. He just
Yeah.
quit. So now
Oh.
we have this vehicle
Yeah.
that was just going into the regular
So it's
office
like
fleet.
a company vehicle.
It's
for
it's
him
owned
and-
by
Did he-
BRC.
did he
Yeah.
choose that vehicle?
No, it used to be owned by the owner of the company's wife. And now she's got a Q5. So this is her old vehicle. This is way better.
Great taste in cars.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, this thing is a,
I
a
can say you can't.
CVT hybrid CUV. I am not having a good weekend so far. As soon
This
as
is
this
kinda
is detailed, on my way home, I'm gonna stop by my office and get my Fiat, and then drive my Fiat back home.
That's kind of everything. You're basically doing with what I was when I had the transmission go out in my van.
Oh yeah.
And then I had to drive around loaner cars, and it's just like, hey, here's a modern Volkswagen Jetta base model. And I'm like, can I die? I would prefer that. And just like, I go find like a drunk driver and just like hang out in this blind spot and just wait.
Oh no!
Hopefully it'll just take care of me.
Don't worry, the seatbelts won't work. So
Yeah, you're exactly.
Defective seatbelts. Yeah. Maybe in the B5 Passat. I don't know about the new Jetta, but
Volkswagen, it doesn't matter what Volkswagen I am
yeah.
in.
Every
The
single one.
seatbelts don't work for me.
What do you mean? You're just like too small, so it doesn't
No,
engage?
I
No,
like
it's just like they're
literally
such a
they
high
won't,
failure rate.
They won't
Oh.
clip. They won't like come down because the safety lock's locked. It like literally
That
like
sounds
some.
horrible.
It is, and then somebody else will
Dangerous.
get into the car and it will work fine. I get back in, doesn't work.
You remember when I had the 86 GLI for a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah,
God,
so-
that was a short time.
Well, yeah, I got it to flip it, but
We're
rightfully
helping
so.
a homie out.
But within the 2 months I owned it,
Yeah.
I had the door latch fail,
Mm-hmm.
the throttle cable fail,
Shocking.
and the seatbelt fail all at the same time. So I was going
On the highway.
I was going around. I was on the highway. I was going 35W southbound to 494 west, and it's this big long on ramp with a bunch of nice curves
Yeah.
in it.
Yep.
And so I'm on it, and the throttle cable comes off the pedal, so I lose throttle. The car jerks to from wide open throttle to zero on a corner. Door swings open, and my seatbelt isn't really working. So the seatbelt comes off, and the car tries to eject me from the vehicle. And luckily, I know to have 3 points of contact at all time when you're in a car, so you don't move around too much. But if anybody else was driving that car, they would have been ejected from the vehicle.
Ejectocito, cuz?
Yeah, literally.
And for me, my biggest fear, because I didn't close a door right when I was a kid, and it swung open, so I'm
Oh my.
horrified of this shit
Yeah, that
happening.
would be bad.
Oh,
And
Jan was
so-
crying. Yeah.
So
Oh, man.
it's already a
Very
sore
stressful
spot for
situation.
me because I have to lock the doors, and the doors wouldn't lock for a while.
Oh.
And so I was already nervous, and then the door flies open while we're
As
driving.
they do.
And I was just thankfully I wasn't in the car when this situation happened.
Oh no, you weren't. You weren't when that happened. Yeah.
No,
It was after
I got a
dri-
phone call when he was on the side of the road, being like, "Hey, I need you to throw a tool at me, real quick."
And I was able to figure it out because she couldn't get there. But
Yeah.
it was it got to a point where that throttle cable. What happens is they have a little J hook kind of bracket.
Okay.
And over the course of 30 years, the little hook on the J straightens out.
Oh, okay.
So then when you have a sudden throttle change, it'll just pop the
Sure.
pedal
I can see
off.
that.
Yeah.
Great.
Genius. Thanks.
Figured
Volkswagen.
out
Really
how to
swell
fix
design.
it while driving.
Yeah, there was a time I didn't. It was a nice car to drive when it worked.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually basically every
It was a
Volkswagen.
Mark II, so that's fine.
Yeah, it was a Mark II, 8-valve GLI, so it was basically it was slow car fast because it's still the 8-valve. You're not gonna get in trouble, but you had the better suspension, so it was still a hoot to drive. So it was actually, I'm not gonna lie, I do like the Mark II GLI.
It just tried to kill us.
I would
It's a Volkswagen.
I would actually buy another one at some point. If
I think they're probably too expensive now.
if I got another one for $500 like that one, I totally would. But yeah, but the thing is, the difference why that car bothered me so much is I had just gotten rid of my CRX a few months prior.
Okay.
CRX had a seatbelt issue, but Honda has a lifetime warranty on their seatbelts,
Yep.
and they honored it 27 years and 290,000 miles later.
Nice.
And that's why Honda's better than Volkswagen. I didn't know it was going to turn into that, but that's my
The
thesis.
the service department was probably so confused.
No, they were so happy, because I drove it in to get serviced, because he
the
was at
the
work.
CRX.
Yes,
I
the
understand,
CRX.
thank you.
And every single person that had contact with the car came up to me personally in the waiting room to tell me how awesome the car was, and I was like, please buy it from me.
I kind of want to take like
Now.
the E30 M3 into BMW Minnetonka someday.
Oh, you totally should. Yeah.
just to like pick up some parts or something.
No, like go in for an oil change or something.
It makes
Like-
their day.
With an S54 under the hood, they'd screw it up.
No,
So
they wouldn't figure out what to do. It'd be great. Like with CRX, I would just troll people with that. It was great.
I don't want to ruin my car though. That's the problem.
You're not gonna ruin it. Well, the thing is, if they botch the oil change, then that's on them.
Yeah, but if it's not factory equipment,
Yeah, it's still.
well, if you tell them ahead of time. It's
yeah,
probably
that's the
fine.
thing. But no, it like I will honestly make the person's day. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Because like with the CRX, like I like the general manager. Like when I went to go pick it up, like the general manager came out and like thanked me for bringing the car there. And like a bunch of people bought like cars while the car was there because they saw the car in the service lot,
Yeah.
and they're like I got phone call where it's like a salesperson's like, "Hey, can I show a customer around your car?" I'm like, "Sure, dude." And like the salesperson's like, "Yeah, this car's got like 300,000 miles on it. It's 30 years old, and this guy's still daily driving it in winter. Look how and it looks this good." And like just a bunch of like the dude got like two. He had a I think he made like a hat trick that day where he got like 3 sales and just like made
it's,
everybody's day.
The thing is, I don't have very fond memories of that car because of how often it broke for us.
I only ever saw it working, so I have fond memories of it.
Yeah, so like for me, that was like that makes it happy, but the rest is just like
Yeah, Jano's just kind of she doesn't like it that much. I have fond memories, but I know better.
It just looked so cool.
it.
Oh,
it,
it's
do-
awesome,
it looks
yeah.
awesome, but
So
now I
JDM.
see one and I go, oh.
Bet that thing has clutch cable issues.
Right? That's all I can think about.
I think that's why there's like part of me that really just wants to get the Civic together before I get Jano's car going, so I have another cool
Yeah, but we
Honda.
talked about this in the last episode. That's not the order it has to
No,
go.
that's true. I just gotta have a cool Honda, on the road again.
Are there going to be any cool Hondas at Radwood?
I don't know.
Actually there were at Radwood, LA. They were overshadowed by like the really excellent selection of like supercars.
I heard Matt Farah talking about it. I don't think he's taking his Countach. I think he's taking something else.
No, there was the red Countach is there.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt Farah brought the red Countach, but there's also a cocaine out Countach, which is like way cooler, but like, because Matt Farah's a red one, whatever.
Is the white on the Countach called powder white?
I hope so.
I really hope so. If not, missed opportunity.
But
Yeah,
the thing
we
is,
can retronym it.
so the Countaches are cool.
Yeah.
There are 2 cars in the world that will draw my eye from a Countach.
Okay. Oh my.
They are the Bugatti EB110
Okay.
and
Which is just a better Countach,
yeah, and the Vector W8,
which is a worse Countach.
but a cooler Countach and more powerful.
What was the car at Laguna Seca that my nails matched?
That was the EB110.
That's what I
yeah.
thought.
Oh yeah, those are so cool.
It was actually that same EB110.
Yeah, it was a really
Is
pretty
it that pastel blue?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Bugatti
then-
It's
blue.
kind of similar to Laguna
I-
Seca blue.
Yeah, it's really similar to Laguna Seca blue,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my students told me to paint my nails blue, so I did, and we were taking pictures of my nails matching the EB110, and like a salesperson like comes up behind us, like making sure we're not touching the car, and then he started laughing at me, and I was like, no, you this is exciting, like
And
my
he goes,
nails
on,
happen
he
to
goes
be
and like
stock
tells
color.
a female
Oh, yeah.
salesperson. She got excited and it was great.
He was just like a dad that didn't understand how cool like this coincidence was.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, if you're walking around the pits at Laguna Seca, I mean, to be there, you have
Yeah.
to know a little bit. But like,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Exactly.
people just assumed that Ryan was dragging you around. And
Oh
he didn't
yeah,
know anything about
except for I
cars.
had like my press backpack and my normal backpack.
Okay.
So I obviously and like I had my
Sure.
press pass and I was like dressed nicely. So I obviously knew what I was doing.
Right.
But this guy was just like looking at this girl, excited to be like Instagram, you know.
Right. I'm like, plot twist. Jana knows more about this car than you do.
Exactly. And I was telling him how excited I was that this particular car matched my nails. I was like, no, this is like a dream car of mine, and my nails happen to match this particular one. Like, I've never painted my nails blue before, and I do it this color, and look, it matches. Like,
Bugatti EB110 blue.
Yeah.
It's very French. Very French.
But the Vector W8 I was really excited about because there was just like a handful of those.
Yeah, I know they're extremely rare.
Can we bring up a picture one for people
Yes.
that aren't
If they'll
well versed?
They should be.
Yeah, if they're not well versed in like 1980s, well, early 90s supercars that were designed in the 80s, but they like Faraday futured themselves into the 90s.
It looks like a kit car.
Oh,
Fiero.
God, look at that red one. But anyway, it was
All these pictures are so 90s sized.
God, they're so beautiful.
Here's a big one. Okay.
Relatively big.
Well, it's 20-something 100 pixels.
Oh, God, look at that. That's such a beautiful car. I really love that car.
Yeah, it's not beautiful, but
If I were to design a car, it'd basically be a Vector W8 with a manual transmission.
God, did this have that 3-speed GM auto?
Yeah. Yes, it did. But what was cool
There we
about
go. I
it,
made it bigger.
it was cool to have like 625 horsepower or whatever.
Yeah.
But it had a manual boost controller in it. And you could raise it up to like 800.
With a 1980s turbocharger.
Yeah, so it'd be just all of the lag ever. And then
Even with a big displacement engine, that would still. Could the transmission handle that?
they reinforced it. That's said they went with the automatic because
should've
that
just-
one they had the ability to reinforce the transmission to hold 800 horsepower, whereas like
Actually, it's probably better for laggy turbos too.
yeah, like there's like a lot of reasoning behind why they did that. It was just like it was dumb because it's like it's supposed to be a driver's car, but like at the same
so
time
much more
like
fun with the manual, but I bet it's way faster with the 3-speed.
yeah, I think they were a small company and they probably didn't want to end up with a 930 turbo Widowmaker situation, and then like get a lawsuit or something. Like
God, just look at this thing. It looks like an 80s boat.
well,
Yes.
they had like
They just added some wheels to
yes,
it.
they did. It was
Arbitrarily.
perfect.
Like if you just hold your hand over the bottom of that, it's a friggin' boat.
It also had a it had digital dashboard, of course,
Of course.
but it was like a CRT digital dashboard.
Oh, like the Riata?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh man.
And it had like this like whole
or the what's that old Aston sedan? Lagonda.
Lagonda. That was that. You know the Lagonda.
Those were CRT main displays.
Yeah, the Lagonda was the first car to have a digital dashboard. First car to also have a touch screen,
Yeah.
and it was all
Had a resistive CRT touchscreen. Can you imagine like a negative 20-degree Minnesota winter, like going out to your Lagonda,
and like trying to make it work.
trying to make a CRT A turn on and B have the resistive. Like if you had muscle memory to know where the buttons were, that would probably work.
And you just
But
have to like sit there like hold. Well, because then all the buttons for like the windows and stuff like that.
okay, there's YouTube videos about all this boring crap these days. I want somebody to find a Lagonda, bring it to some place where it's ridiculously cold,
And just
try all this
operate it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, just operate a Lagonda.
Or like where it's like really humid because they had an issue where if it was too humid, the windows would roll down because it'd complete the circuit.
Oh, fabulous!
Which you know where it's
How
really.
quintessentially British.
Do you know where it's extremely humid?
Britain?
Well, not only that, but where it's like extremely humid, like in a car wash,
Oh,
and then a car full of electronics.
Ooh.
And then not only that, it's like $100,000 car full of electronics. So yeah, it would like roll all the windows down, just blast people with car wash water, like ruin their polyester suit.
Oh, no.
Grace Jones's like flat top would be ruined, and
ruining all their natural, finely finished mahogany and
yeah, like a whole
rich
car
leather.
would just be totaled,
Rip.
even when it was new. But yeah, no, Radwood, LA at the Peterson was definitely the coolest Radwood thus far. I think they also had a Stanza wagon.
Oh,
that was
very
there.
cool. Was
Yeah.
it super mint?
No, it was like customized and lifted. It was
Lifted.
it's
That thing's
all-
already ridiculously tall.
yeah, but now it's like extra tall. So I mean, it's not like it's gonna be like good for anything else.
Jana
so.
couldn't get into it.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
No, you could. You'd like crawl up
By
into it.
crawling- Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just what I was about to ask.
But well, the car's got an upright seating position, so you'd actually be able to drive it.
Well, it's not the issue of driving it; it's
getting
in
into
and
it.
out of it. Like,
Alright,
I
ingress
had
and
trouble
egress.
with the ridge line.
Well, it's also it's got a pillarless side door, so what you can do is you can open up all the doors, and then you suddenly have like a 5-foot ingress path.
Sure.
So it wouldn't be that hard. You could put like a little ramp in it. And, like walk up the ramp.
I forget the name of the company that does them, but they do those power fold-out running boards for like the Escalades and the pickups
you
and
can
stuff
get
like
that,
that.
yeah.
Just get a power fold-out ramp.
I guess.
That'd be
I-
perfect.
That's my lot in life. My favorite was when I was detailing my dad's Ridgeline, and people would see me like crawling into it, and they're like, "Why don't you get a smaller car?" And I was like, "I don't want to buy my own car. Like, this is fun."
This one's free.
I'm like, "This one's free. I like how it drives.
This
it's
one's
just,
free, and now
I'll just fall out of it. It's fine."
That's fine. Hopefully the door won't fly open
it's-
when I'm going
it's
around
free.
a corner.
And
Exactly.
it's taught me to appreciate rock climbing. It's really
Yeah.
fun.
Get like a carabiner and you like hook it onto the oh shit handle.
Yeah, as literally
You
not.
just rappel down out of it.
And my dad tried an
Spelunking
F-150
getting out of it.
because the guy like offered to pay him to take over his lease, and I wasn't allowed to like drive it because my dad was afraid of me getting in and out of it.
Well, your dad also fell out of it.
Yeah, he
Like
got
every
rid of
time
it
he
'cause
got out of it.
fell out of it. He's not a tall man, so
He's also kind of built like Hank Hill.
This hasn't gone. Oh wow. So just a straight line.
A straight line with like a belly, and,
Right.
like a retractive butt, and
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, like no features except for the beer gut, which
it's not really a beer gut. It's just like a dad bod. But no, I joke with Jana that her dad is like just so much of an archetype of Hank Hill.
I
Does
don't
he sell
see it.
propane?
No.
No, but he's like
He owns buildings.
he's a small business owner that drives a pickup truck, and he's Republican. He looks like Hank Hill, and he's like he doesn't swear that much. I've never heard him swear ever, so he's a lot like Hank Hill.
God dang it.
He
doesn't
gets
even do
frustrated
that.
the same way as Hank Hill. Yeah, he's Hank
I
Hill.
mean, he'll swear around like my sister and I, but like no one else. Like and like
How do you swear on someone?
Around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting my neighbor's house inspected on Tuesday. Hopefully we know more next week.
Oh, exciting.
Sounds
Will
like
he's bluff.
yeah. Well, hopefully it sounds like Scott and Gibb might be getting cold feet, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to swing it alone. But we'll see. The inspection hopefully will give us a lot of bargaining points.
Yes.
God, watch it just be made of black mold. The entire house.
Hope not. Although
I did tell
As
my
long as you
dad,
can
and
lowball.
he's excited for you.
well, thank you, Janice Dad.
I've been
get
telling
that.
everybody the story about what you're doing, and it's so awesome. Like between that and like Peter Francis becoming a realtor, like
I wish I could use Peter Francis in this, but it would just cost so much more.
the level of petty in my friend group is just it makes me so happy.
I will
It's
go
amazing.
to the lengths that I'm able to go to for almost any reason.
Oh, so speaking of the levels of petty,
Yes.
we have a customer at work where this lady has a 2OT, needs timing chains.
Wow.
Shocking.
Shocking.
Warranty company.
Oh, I heard. this.
There's a warranty.
Uh-oh.
So we're going through a warranty company. They agreed to it.
'Kay.
However, they did not agree to do the lower timing cover or the upper. The upper is warp when you take them off because of the amount of.
Are they plastic or metal?
The upper is plastic. The lower is metal.
'Kay.
The upper warps because of the amount of torque that they
'Cause
put
it's
on the bolts.
plastic,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's plastic. But the metal bottom one is made of like this, like really the same material that they make the rear main out of. It's like super thin
Sure.
gauge steel, and you basically have to roll it off like a burrito. And they're like, "Oh, that it doesn't say anywhere that's not reusable." I'm like, "Are you effing kidding me?" Like, I called up Volkswagen and talked to one of the service advisors, and they're like, "Yeah, no, there's way too much tension on that. You cannot possibly remove that without destroying it."
And you
But
even
since
called Volkswagen.
yeah, like that was a dealer I called, and I had him on the line with that guy, and they're like, it doesn't show me somewhere where it says it needs to be done, and I'm like, it doesn't say that anywhere. It's just part of the job, like whenever anybody ever does that, and so they refuse to cover it. Anyway, so I'm getting like so freaking mad at this point because Efren, that's the guy's name, because I'm gonna call him out.
You get like acid flashbacks in the middle. Of
Yeah.
And
But
he's
he-
calling him Alfonso for me.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't remember. Well, Efren, whatever. This guy, like, when we got off the phone, the guy at Volts is like, "Yeah, that guy's a dick. I've had to work with him before. That guy doesn't do anything." And I'm like, okay, well, this seems to be a pattern for this guy. I found the address via the 1-800 number on the internet and found where their location is. And I went to this wonderful website called www.sendyourenemiesglitter.com, which sends them a envelope which is disguised to look like a bill or some sort of like thing that they have to actually read. And they open it up, and it's got like the backside of like a really fancy letterhead. And then when you turn it around, it'll say whatever your personalized message is, and it'll be full of like 3 ounces of glitter. Do you know how much glitter is in 3 ounces?
Dude, that's like sending somebody anthrax.
That's how much glitter we use on projects at school.
It's 5 years worth of glitter.
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. It was $11 to send that, and I regret nothing.
Good. Very fine.
The
So
piece,
what
the
are
piece
you-
de resistance though.
So does the customer have to eat the lower timing cover?
Yeah, they
cross
do.
then? Oh,
How? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use more of my own personal money, and when we're done with this, I'm gonna take that lower timing cover and put it in a box and mail it to him as
Good.
well, addressed to him, and his desk.
good.
Because I looked up, I was able to find all this on the internet.
Good.
And so now will he receive 3 ounces of glitter? And
I look forward to the next time Good Karma has a warranty claim with this guy. Remember last time?
it's not good karma. I did do this on my own time after we closed.
Okay.
But this is just me myself being petty because this guy's just such a
He
dick.
cares about the customers.
I really do actually, and it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, really, like everybody literally everybody, including the dude from Volkswagen, who's a third party and has nothing to gain from this,
Yep.
says that you have to do it. Every single outlet says you have to do it.
Does AllData say you have to do it?
No, that's the thing, because Volkswagen officially never mentioned that.
You should call AllData. Be like, look.
Yeah, it's just really dumb, and it's just like there's Volkswagen's never made a TSB on it because it's just like assumed that you know this,
Right.
and
Assume they know nothing.
and that's the thing is like it's the same vein of like Volkswagen having no lifetime warranty on their seatbelts. It's like
Yeah, safety is usually in a completely different.
no, I mean it's the thing where it's like they don't have to do this, but like
Right.
it's one of those things that you would expect a company to do,
Yeah.
and Volkswagen does like what is required.
Oh,
They
yeah,
don't
they
go
do the
above,
bare minimum.
They don't go above and beyond. It's not like
They are
'cause,
the C student.
like Honda would totally do this. I have zero doubt that if Honda had a timing chain issue and
Which they
had,
wouldn't.
No, well they can.
Those are rare.
K24s can have them, the later model ones.
Really?
Yeah. But like, I know Honda, they would do this. And if Honda had like a really chintzy lower timing cover, they would mention, hey, this has to come off as well.
A, they would supersede the part with something less shitty.
Yes, it would.
Then they would issue a TSB.
Yes, it would. And Volkswagen will never do that. And they're never going to supersede the part with
Of
something less
course
shitty.
not. No, they're gonna make it even worse.
They've superseded like the
Like
rear.
we're actually gonna make it out of an organic, compostable material.
Squirrels love it.
If Volkswagen would, they would make like the rear main seal. They've superseded that 6 times since the 2OTs come out. And
It's just like
they're-
the Porsche
they're-
water-cooled engines.
Yeah.
There's been like 9 part numbers for rear main seals.
And they're just as shitty as they have always been.
Yep.
It's just really dumb.
Working around a problem. Anyway,
Exactly.
next story. So we talked last time about GM closing a bunch of factories, laying
Yes.
off a
Yes.
ton of people. Sounds like Tesla is in talks to buy
Yes.
one or many of those factories
They
and just
need it.
turn them
With
back
what
on.
money?
They do well. I mean, Tesla they
Elon Musk
hemorrhage
has
money,
money.
but they have tons of venture
Okay.
capital. So like,
Okay.
but
Elon Musk
my
has money.
question, I brought it up on the screen here too. It's not a very good article, but I think they could do it. But like the tariffs have to be hurting Tesla too.
Yeah.
And they're trying to push legislation now to get rid of all of the incentives for electric vehicles.
I honestly think that I don't think that's going to hurt Tesla at all, because
I think it'll work either way.
Tesla's going to be fine with or without tariffs, because the electric car revolution's already happened. Like you don't need that.
They're almost to the point now where you could buy one without an incentive, and it would be
Yeah, you people will still buy them
Yeah.
because like now you have the brand name.
especially with a company like Tesla that already hit their cap or whatever, so their incentives are already going away.
Yeah.
So I mean, Tesla now versus Tesla in a year, it's going to be the same in a year, no matter what happens.
Yeah, that makes no difference. Well, not only that, I think we should also talk about how, first off, Tesla, they have the brand name. Like
Yeah.
it's like when you buy a Tesla, you're buying the name.
Yeah, you're buying an
It's-
Apple product.
Yeah, you are exactly. And also, if you've ever seen, with like the Bolshevik Revolution, you didn't have people still storming the Kremlin after the Soviet Union's been established. You didn't.
Man.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is once you actually get like the revolution going and like
Yep.
that change
Yep.
going, you don't need to keep
I
the
know,
thing that
it gains-
incited that.
It's like lifting it up the short end of the ramp, and then
Yeah.
it takes itself away from there.
Exactly.
I think we're almost to the point where it's got enough momentum, especially with the Tesla Model 3 being like actually fairly profitable to produce.
Yeah, it can be profitable, and that's gonna be their 3 Series.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
well, that's probably why they call it the Tesla Model 3.
And honestly, I'd rather have a Model 3 than a new 3 Series.
Oh.
That's
Which
fair.
should be not
Fighting
surprising to
words.
anyone.
Yeah, no, that's been talked about the last couple episodes.
I want to see a BMW S Series now. Because like Model 3, Model
Oh,
S.
Model
yeah.
S, yeah.
Ah.
I like it.
then
But
Mercedes sends them a cease and desist. Just sends it to everybody.
hey now, comma, stop it. Period. Signed Mercedes
It'd be like
Benz.
Peugeot with like any car with a 0 in the middle of it. Just everybody else gets a
Just
cease
send
and
them
desist.
a Polaroid of a 1007.
Yes.
Stop it. We see you.
Oh god, that's great. But no, I really want Tesla to do that. And also, Mary Barra, I think she's managed to piss off actually everybody.
Oh, really?
Because, well, not only, all right, so, like, the Republicans are pissed at her, Democrats are pissed at her.
What'd she do?
She's the CEO of GM.
Oh.
Oh.
So all of her workers are pissed off at her.
Yeah.
Now her board's pissed off at her because the government's pissed off at her. Her husband's probably pissed off at her because now everybody's yelling at her. It's just, oh my God, that's like the one person I want to be. Also, maybe it wasn't a good idea to drop 15,000 layoffs all on the same day. I don't know. Maybe if you...
Maybe, but I bet.
if you space that out
I
over
don't
the
know.
course of 2 or 3 years, you'd have
People
the
would
same
pick it up.
effect, and it wouldn't make the same headlines.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, it's the thing. Like Ford, they've, I'm sure they've.
Well, they
laid off
announced
people.
all their car cancellations in one headline.
Yeah, but they didn't close the factories.
They closed some.
No, because all those cars were imported from other countries.
Yeah, they didn't close U.S. factories.
Yeah, which doesn't matter.
Okay.
Well, realistically, to a politician, that doesn't matter.
Right. No, I get what you're saying.
And that's where all this heat's coming from. Because if a factory closes, in Guadalajara, like nobody's gonna care. Like it realistically in the United States, that sort of stuff happens all the time. Like
I guess.
It sucks, but I mean, like just realistically, it's just not something that's gonna make the news. But the way Mary Barra handled this, I think, was just a really foolhardy decision. I think that she could have totally gotten away with cutting
I
15,000 jobs by doing it like maybe 1,000 at a time.
What she should have done was mail your enemies glitter to Trump.
Yeah.
That would have given her the same effect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
and save jobs.
Yep. I think so. I think we should try to seek sponsorship from Enemy's glitter, I think. That would be super great.
But yeah, Mary Barra, she, I guess the good news is that now Tesla's gonna get a lot cooler because they're gonna make more
and
stuff.
like I know, because I was listening to like NPR the entire day that this like news broke,
Mm-hmm.
and like she kept on saying, and a lot of people kept on saying, it's really hard to predict what cars are gonna be in the future.
Right.
Like you don't know.
But one of the factories produced the Volt, which is one of their
which
best
is
vehicles.
strange. Yeah, like I don't quite understand their decision or like support it or whatever. But
Right.
like, first of all, I don't care about GM. Second of all, she is right when you don't know where cars are gonna be.
And right, I mean, I get it. I mean, they're not selling because CVs are.
Well, not only that, when was the last time you saw a second generation Volt? Did you know there was a second generation
Yeah, I
Volt?
was aware, and it's actually a pretty good car, but I do not see very many.
Exactly.
But I also don't see many GM vehicles at all because they are so bland.
Yeah, well, that is true. I mean,
I do see Chevrolet Cruze diesel hatchbacks on the internet sometimes.
Yeah, those are cool, which are also getting axed. But
That's the real travesty of this article.
well, I think all right. So the other thing is Mary Barra is also in a really tight spot because, like, yeah, we kind of just bailed out GM, and now GM's just gonna be like
That was
hey,
over a decade ago, by the way.
but still,
Yeah.
like Lee Iacocca didn't like axe a bunch of people after Chrysler had a bailout in 1978, I think, is when they had theirs. Lee Iacocca just made the company better. If Mary
Right.
Barra was a good CEO, she would make the company better. She's just not a good CEO.
Make the company great again.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, it's not that. All right, so obviously America has got a ferocious appetite for cars. So does the rest of the world.
Vehicles, we'll say.
I feel like there is a way that Mary Barra could have made this work without cutting this many jobs. I think that she just went for the easy route because,
Well, when you have a publicly traded company and a board of directors, maybe not.
Well,
because if they're given
Lee Iacocca had that.
right, but people still have to vote on it. So
Yeah,
if people unanimously vote to do X and regain Y,
I think
this,
the other issue is Lee Iacocca was a visionary and Mary Barra is not.
boom.
Yeah, there is that. That's what I was getting at. Was that?
Yeah, well, we know the name Lee Iacocca, and he's not in office, and I still don't know the name Mary Barra.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
no, she's
I
not
was
a
like,
visionary
who
at all.
dat?
She's a paper pusher, and she has. I think that she's in the wrong position. I think she'd probably be a great executive. I do not think that she should be the head of General Motors, because General Motors is a company that doesn't have any soul whatsoever
I
right
think
now.
we should send Mr. Gozin.
Going.
We should send him an application for the GM
Actually,
CEO-ship.
he would be perfect. Well, actually, no, he would, because Mary Barra I think is trying to beat him. No, I think it needs somebody that's more along the lines of Akado Toyota or Lee Iacocca. Lee Iacocca's still alive. Have Lee Iacocca. Just have him come back.
I think he might be a little. Well, I'm sure he still has his cognitive faculties
He's
with him.
profoundly
But
old, but he's still totally capable of it. He's like the Obi-Wan of the car
can you
industry.
imagine the circle jerk on the internet?
That'd be
if
so cool.
If he came back and headed up GM.
Well, he would complete the big three. He's been at Ford. He's been at Chrysler. He needs to be at GM. Lee Iacocca should take Mary Barra's position.
We're gonna have the Pontiac division come back with a model called the Diablo next year. It's gonna be weird.
Exactly.
Weird.
I like
It'll be
it.
really cool.
What's happening in France?
What is happening in France?
Oh, yes. France is having fuel riots.
Oh, well, let me
Why?
switch over to this article on the screen here.
Well, because Carlos Ghosn lied about spending a bunch of money unnecessarily on houses
so
for
they were
himself
trying to get that money back by.
by raising fuel taxes, obviously.
oh, that seems smart.
I can read in between the lines. My name's Alex Jones.
Oh,
Okay. So I see a picture of a burnt vehicle, like this severely burnt vehicle.
yes.
I think it's a Seat.
I can't tell, but
I can't
it is.
tell. It's so disfigured.
There's nothing left.
I'm hoping it's a Seat because I don't care about those as much because there's Volkswagens. If it was a Citroen, I'd be very unhappy.
Imagine if that was a burnt out husk of one of those panel Citroen vans or whatever.
Oh no.
HV.
Yeah. Like every cliche wartime
Yeah.
dystopian
I think
landscape.
Citroens are like protected by the government. Like,
I
you
hope
know,
so.
we
It's a
do
hate
with
crime.
Animals.
It's like
Yeah.
eagles.
Yeah.
Like if you
exactly.
burn a Citroen in France, it's like shooting
I
a
don't.
bald eagle.
I don't
here.
think.
Yeah,
I don't think you can actually, like, light a HV on fire. There's not anything flammable in it. It's
That's
just
true. It's all
corrugated
metal.
steel. It's corrugated steel with like 2 vinyl seats.
But yeah, so what happened? I've heard bits and pieces on NPR, but
I know nothing. of
Okay,
this,
I guess I
so-
know the most because I actually pay attention to this stuff. So, Emmanuel Macron, president of France and also 15% stakeholder in Renault, they had this tax hike on gas, which was like 10 cents per gallon that they added, which is already like they have insane taxes already, and so. Yeah, basically what it was the tax on people that don't live in the inner city.
oh,
Because if you think about it, like it was on diesel gas only. People that have diesel vehicles in Europe are people that want better fuel
Oh
economy.
no, they
Yeah.
burned a Vespa.
oh, poor Vespa.
But no, the people that own diesel vehicles are people that want good fuel economy.
Yeah.
And usually, if you want good fuel economy, it's because you have a long ass drive to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened was a lot of these people they see it as it was already unpopular and they just kind of like pushed it through.
Yeah.
So the following Saturday, it's called the Yellow Vest movement.
Yeah.
Every
I see
Sa-
a lot of yellow
yeah.
vests.
Well, that's because every French driver has to have a yellow vest in their car in case they break down.
Okay.
I
They
think
put
it's
it
British too. I think it's EU.
Yeah, I think it's a EU thing.
That's
But
Well, I guess
Interesting.
Britain's not in the EU anymore.
Yeah.
Ew.
well, kind of, they're still there. No! Do you see what that
Is
is?
that a Twingo?
It's a Twingo.
Oh, poor Twingo.
Those
Mercy,
monsters.
Twingo.
Look at that.
Oh, they put a heart on
That's
it to
so
save
cute.
it.
but
they felt
Emmanuel
that.
Macron has blood on his hands.
That's very
Yeah.
sad.
He's got blood
Look at
on
that
his
sad
hands.
steering wheel.
I'm very unhappy about this.
The internet should be up in arms. Look at
Yeah.
that.
I'm
cute-
up in arms.
Look at that cute door handle, all just smoldered.
It's a first-gen Twingo. That could have been Gianna's Twingo.
Yeah.
But
They tipped one over.
Is that a Fiat 500?
I think so.
that's a 500, yeah. That's not as big of a deal because
Oh.
they still make those.
I'm still sad.
But yeah, so the Yellow Vest movement, it's been like going on for like 2 weeks of
Yeah.
riots because they've been it started out as just this gas tax, and after a week's worth of rioting, they successfully were able to repeal the gas tax. However, as of today, they're still rioting.
Why is that?
They just like it so much.
You remember how we were talking about the electric car revolution? I said once you start that fire, it will continue to burn.
I thought that was a metaphor, though,
It is.
not a literal fire.
Sometimes literal.
Okay.
Metaphors can be literal.
It's just
too.
cold outside there, and they want some heat.
That's right. Exactly what they needed.
But don't burn Twingos and Fiat 500s.
Yeah,
Well, no,
that's a hate
war
crime.
Well,
Hate
now they're now it's a lot of students that have joined the riots because Emmanuel Macron has also raised fees for going to public schools,
I see.
Oh.
and so a lot of like low income students are pretty pissed. So yeah, now students are joining the riot and it's still going on, and Emmanuel Macron has a crisis on his hands now.
It looks like it.
And-
Twingos are down. Fiat 500s are down. Vespas
Whatever
are down.
this weird Seat is.
I don't care about the sale. No, it's just he's got blood on his hands for killing that
Yeah,
Twingo.
'cause, like,
He's been raising taxes on
I heard
ridiculous things.
Actually, like, people died in these riots.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
2 dead.
People were
2 dead.
super hurt.
And that's a country full of people that just surrender all the time. So that would have been 20,000 deaths.
So,
Yeah.
well, the thing is so a riot in France is not a big deal because if the DMV line's 5 minutes longer than normal, it's time for a food riot. Like if you're late to lunch, time to riot. But in France, for a riot to go on for more than a day is actually a big deal. But what's actually interesting about this, it's a very French thing. I imagine A, they stop for lunch, and B, it only happens on Saturdays.
And they just go to work during
They
the
go to
work
work
week?
for the rest of the work week, and then they go back to rioting on Saturdays. That's the
Wow,
most-
what fiscally conscious rioters.
Can we just talk about how quintessentially French that is?
That's very French.
Well, it's
I
not
like
getting in
that.
the way of my lunch. I need my food and my
Like-
biscuits.
That's the most French thing ever. It's like, okay, we're done rioting. We're going to go back to life. Like, rioting is not all of life.
French people strangely sound very Eastern European
Yeah.
now.
Well, there's a lot of Eastern Europeans that live there because, EU. They open borders. Nobody wants to live in Bulgaria.
That's
Why
true.
would you live in Bulgaria? We can live in Paris.
I like the one guy in Bulgaria that makes Mercedes M117 trigger wheels.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy's cool.
very cool.
You know, Bulgaria is actually the fastest declining population in the world.
Well, maybe they should take a hint and make it better.
What happens
they-
if a
How about
country
they reduce
loses
their gas
all of
tax?
its population?
It ceases to exist. Well, that's the problem, though.
Becomes a
Is
landfill.
it's like something like 3-to-1, like a retiree to non-retiree rate. Like it's insane.
And then people keep on, what is it when you...
So like factories are
Emigrate.
closing. Well, yeah, and they leave. They have a huge brain drain where everybody goes to Bulgaria. Everybody like graduates from Bulgarian college, like leaves the country. So they don't have doctors. They're like everybody's old, and all these like businesses are closing because they just don't have anybody that can work there. And meanwhile, the EU is complaining about immigrants. Bulgaria needs immigrants like
I'm
right
noticing
now.
a parallel all the way across the politics of the world.
Yeah.
And why people that complain about immigrants are also completely
Everywhere.
backward. Yeah, and they're
Yes.
all completely backwards.
The people
It's-
that do the best work and have the best work ethic. Yeah, let's keep them out.
Yeah, and let's follow the Alabama model. Let's be as unproductive as possible.
Let's just make it dunk.
yeah. Well, no, that's the Georgia model.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good thing.
Very Atlanta.
We're coming up on an hour, and John just walked in. He left the door open too.
Oh, what a douche.
I think we got time for one more item here.
Can I mention something real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
I
Huh?
found a couple of articles that I sent Ryan on the Facebooks, and one was this awesome dealership in Japan got a Michelin star for their ramen.
Oh, very
Speaking
nice.
of France, yeah, let's talk about that. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
A Michelin star. That's amazing.
They're let's see here. But it's basically why don't you explain what Michelin star is while I'm looking up the
A
name
Michelin
of the
star.
dealership.
So in France, to get people to travel across the country, Michelin, the tire company, came up with this little guide. I think in
1922.
yeah, And so at the beginning of cars,
It would
you
tell
know.
people where to eat.
Yeah, where is a good place to eat to get people to road trip and stuff, and it's exploded into like a huge cultural phenomenon, and like especially if you're in France, you know, you want to get that Michelin star, but in order to get that Michelin star, you need like a cheese board with so many cheeses and like a certain like wine list, and like it's very
Yep.
specific,
Yeah.
and it's like highly
Very high end.
regarded, and you know, so a Michelin star is earned, and it's very easily taken away.
Gordon Ramsay, famously his restaurant. Gordon Ramsay had 2 Michelin stars.
Wow.
He had one taken away, and he cried publicly while they were ripping it off.
I could see that.
Yeah.
That place I went to up in Robbinsdale called Travail is attempting to gain a Michelin star
Yeah.
certification.
Yeah, that would be.
Incredible. I mean, I think it's worthy of it. That's the
We,
best
well,
restaurant I've
we
ever
don't
been
even
to.
we don't have a Michelin guide here
No.
yet. So I think Minneapolis would be a great place for a Michelin guide.
I think so too.
But do you want to continue to explain it, or do you want me to go into the article?
I just sent it to you because I was at work.
Okay, I'll go into the article. But yeah, so this dealership, it's not even like a actual new car dealership. It's a used car dealership. It's run by this person named Katsumi Yoshida, and they made a ramen stand inside their used car dealership for people who are like waiting for finance and stuff to like improve customer service.
So like a hot dog truck here.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
But they called it. It's called Hot Air Ramen. Was the name of the restaurant.
Okay.
And it turns out it's like the best ramen in all of Japan.
Interesting.
And it's at like a used car. It's at like a car hop.
That's amazing.
I love it. It's so Japanese.
That's so great.
So yeah, they have this like ridiculous set of prerequisites you have to meet to be able to get a full Michelin star. However, they have this sub Michelin star called Bib Gourmand. And what that is that's for affordable restaurants that are their food alone is worthy of giving them a Michelin star.
Interesting. Okay.
So it has to be stuff that's under 500 yen or $45.
Okay.
And this bowl of ramen is $7.10.
Wow.
And it's
Would buy 10 out of 10.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They're the dealership's located in Tottori, Japan.
Why don't we have a 5-star ramen truck here?
Right?
Yeah.
Motorcult trip to Japan just for ramen. if BuzzFeed can do it, we can do it.
Maybe someday.
So, but this is the thing is, this is the 3rd cheapest Michelin quality food in the world.
That's awesome.
There is a chef named Tim Ho Wan in Hong Kong that has one that has a Michelin star who has a cheap restaurant, and then in Singapore there's a food vendor, like a street stall food vendor,
That's amazing.
called Hong Kong soya sauce rice and noodle. And yeah, that one also has a Michelin star.
It's amazing.
So
That's
this is-
incredible.
It's a used car dealership.
I mean, what I know of Michelin star here in the States, I mean, the restaurants that have it are
Phenomenal.
very expensive,
Yeah.
So-
very prestigious.
There's 3 cities in the United States that have Michelin stars in them, and the way that you actually get it is you have to get secret shopped basically by Michelin, and they come by, they'll try it, and if they get like enough of their secret shoppers to say that's equally as good, then they'll send you one. And then, but yeah, there's only 3 cities. I'm trying to find the exact 3 cities, but it's like
One's Illinois, isn't it? Or,
it's Chicago,
Yeah.
San Francisco. I don't even think it might be New York, but it doesn't
No,
seem right.
I think it's further south. I think it's in like a weird. Is it in like
okay.
Pennsylvania somewhere
Something,
or Ohio?
I don't
Maybe.
know.
I feel like the third one's a really strange place to have
And
it.
then what was the other car-related article I sent you?
I don't have Facebook up right now,
Okay, I don't remember. We'll put that on the next one then.
but
Or next, because we got a bunch of shit
Yeah.
we didn't touch on.
Yeah.
We'll do it sometime in the future.
1 second here. I'm just gonna look up what the other city is. Or I guess I can just talk about it next.
But yeah,
episode.
Michelin
Nobody
star
cares.
is car related
Yeah,
because it's literally
Michelin.
tires.
Yes,
Yep.
it was
The French company
it-
Michelin.
Oh, it was 1926 actually. I was wrong when I said 22.
But,
But-
close.
Yeah, it was very close. But yeah, that was very, very cool that that dealership got that. And I
So-
looked that up, and I'm like, I wonder what it would take for my coffee shop to get that, because like we have like the best roast beef in town.
You're gonna have the
Oh.
Sumitomo star.
I would love for them to do that. I would totally get one. All I ever sell are Sumitomo tires. So it'd be perfect. Um,
That'll be a
'Cause the
Kumo
co-
star for me.
Like, I genuinely really like the coffee shop's food. Like, it's really good. Like, they have this white chicken chili.
so
So good.
I do like white chicken.
Yeah,
chili. it's
well-
a lot like a not seafood, just a gumbo.
well,
Yes.
the my boss's wife, the store owner's wife, she runs a coffee shop, and she did the menu for Cafe Lucia, which was like I guess it's just called Lucia, but it was one of the first like foodie restaurants in the Twin Cities, like back in like the early '90s, and they were around for like 25 years or something. And when they closed and she started up Karma Coffee, she took a lot of like the same food vendors for them and the same like kind of recipes, and they actually have the same salad from Lucia that like made Lucia famous, and they're serving it at the coffee shop.
Nice.
So it's in like
So it makes sense then.
yeah, it makes sense. It's like we got like an egg sandwich at work, and it's like organic, like
The
locally
eggs-
sourced eggs.
Is that coffee shop near Good Karma?
It's across the street.
It's literally it's the same business.
So basically the same as the
you can
ramen
go-
used
yeah,
car dealership.
You can go visit the chickens the eggs come from.
Yeah, it's from
It's like from 2-3 blocks away.
there's an urban farm where a person like has like chickens in their backyard, and they're delivered fresh like every day or two.
Sure.
So I go visit the chickens a lot.
I'm not at all surprised to hear that.
I think maybe we should end the episode on that bombshell.
We got time for one more.
Jana
We got
loves
time for one more?
chickens. That's
All right,
Yep.
let's
I want to
what-
talk about the 3K Hoopty challenge. It's gonna be.
Do you want to
pretty
do that
quick, so.
now, or do you want to do that with our guest next episode?
Let's
I
do
haven't
it
met him before, so I guess you make that call.
I think let's have him be on it.
Okay.
Then,
Well,
then
in
we
that
can,
case, let's talk about this mint intrigue that doesn't have any other text by it.
that was actually the one for the Radwood. I don't know why it ended up there,
Well,
but that was at Radwood
here's your moment of bliss.
on a
Your mint
99
1999.
Oldsmobile Intrigue.
My
Why?
mother used to drive a gold 2000 Intrigue GLS.
So this is that article that I mentioned that like where they're talking about Radwood, LA.
Yeah.
But no, Jalopnik, when they were talking about Radwood, were just so enthused by this Intrigue because
Oh.
it exists.
This is incorrect.
It's only got 120,000 miles on it.
No, it says it's a 99. Those are 3.8s. The 3.5 twin cam didn't come until 2000.
Jacuz. Well, let's not talk about that then. We are done with them.
Yep. That is incorrect.
my
This
nanny used to
intrigue
have
is
one of
much
these.
less intriguing.
I want. Let's just finish up with one last thing here,
No, this was the one last thing.
and that one last thing is that Jalopnik needs to
Check.
double check stuff.
Check
Fact
them.
check.
Yep. If that's a 99, which I think it is due to the wheels, that's a 3.8 Series 2. It's not a 3.5.
Well, not only
twin
that, they
cam.
also said it was a 99.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know what they're basing that on. Maybe they got the VIN.
Oh no, they had the Maroni in the window.
Okay, yeah.
Hey,
Let's.
why don't you scroll down and take a look at the Maroni, because it might say that it actually had. All right. 3.5.
Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure that should have been a 2000 only option.
I wonder if it was like a late model 99.
It must have been.
Does it
Oh,
say-
look at that bronze mist.
Does it say the VIN on there?
No.
Oh.
It
Okay.
Was, it was
so,
a whopping $25,000.
So it's probably like a super late model 99.
It must have been, or maybe it was like a really high trim level or something. Either
So I
way,
guess Jalopnik.
fine, Jalopnik, you redeemed yourself. On
Yes,
the
they're-
last
they're
one.
Still
correct.
fact check.
Burger, you should fact check yourself.
No.
I think on this bombshell of this
Not doing
episode,
that.
we should all take a moment and consider fact checking.
Yes.
Here's a red Countach. Moment of bliss.
Ooh.
Yes. You know, Gandalf had a red Countach.
What?
We will catch you guys on Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.